Hey everyone, welcome back to the Maverick channel. Now today in this video I'm going to view a couple of projects, rather not projects but concepts or things that have been written, articles maybe, a tweet that you can see here, a couple of articles as regards regulation. Elizabeth Warren, I wouldn't say regulation but more like I'll read through it and we'll see universities with their decentralized organizations and some other articles basically talking about the standards, the token standards between the Binance Smart Chain and Ethereum. And each of these articles, I may or may not read all of them in full, but as I go along, I'm going to try and sort of either laugh at what's in there or sort of try and interpret what's in there. But it's going to be more like a freestyle. I didn't read these articles beforehand. So the one I want to look at first is basically these are 4 tabs. The one I want to look at first is this one because I think it will be the most hilarious. So US Senator Elizabeth Warren issues crypto warning, urges regulatory action on decentralized finance. I'm already laughing. Guys, okay, I'm laughing because I know there's serious, there's a lot within the decentralized finance space that is still uncertain. It's like a void. We do not know what's going on. These applications that appear to be decentralized may not really be decentralized, or the people that have designed these applications could have put backdoors in there. So you're interacting with a smart contract, but these people can just escape away with all this money or funding or whatever is going on in these smart contracts or these so-called decentralized technologies. So I understand there's some pitfalls, but we need these pitfalls because we need to learn. We need to make the losses in this space that we need to know so that we learn what not to do, what mistakes not to make in the future. We need these things. We all make losses, we all make profits, we all make mistakes. We need these mistakes to mature. We don't need anyone to overlook us, to tell us what to do. Okay, so US Senator Elizabeth Warren, DMA, is issuing a warning against a cryptocurrency subsector that she says poses a grave danger to the economy. Senator Warren says in the US Senate Banking, Housing and the Urban Affairs Committee hearing on stablecoins that decentralized finance poses the biggest risk to the economy as it's largely unregulated. Guys, I said I'm not laughing because I'm taking this not seriously, but rather because some of us have spent so many hours and so many years looking at the digital currency space, and you can't just pop out of nowhere and claim that you understand what you're talking about. DeFi is the most dangerous part of the crypto world, apparently. So this is where the regulation is effectively absent, and no surprise, it's where the scammers and the cheats and the swindlers mix among part-time investors and first-time crypto traders. I'm just going to ignore that. Yes, the scammers are there. Yes, all these things are there. But look at the current banking system and tell me who the scammers are. So in DeFi, someone can't even tell if they're dealing with a terrorist. Or can we, let me just read it. So according to the US Senate, DeFi depends on stablecoins and therefore wouldn't exist without the fiat-pegged cryptocurrencies. Just like the dollars exist with their pegged with gold, yeah? So stablecoins provide the lifeblood of the DeFi ecosystem. In DeFi, people need stablecoins to trade between different coins, to trade derivatives, to lend and borrow money, all outside the regulated banking system. I don't think these people understand what they're writing. Without stablecoins, DeFi comes to a halt. Senator Warren consequently says that regulators need to act as stablecoins are propping up DeFi. So this is a risk to traders, a risk to our economy. The time to act is before it all blows up. Stablecoins have no regulation, no independent auditors, no guarantors. They have no auditors because it's all transparent and it's on the blockchain. And they are propping up one of the shadiest parts of the crypto world. The place where consumers are least protected from getting scammed. Our regulators need to get serious about clamping down on these risks before it's too late. Guys, I'm sure you can all tell that this is hogwash. You can all tell that this is puppeteering. This is puppets speaking. There's no content. We understand the risks. We're all grown-ups. We understand what we're getting into. Guys, I'm sorry for getting too pissed. Okay, this next article that I wanted to look at on a brighter side was a tweet from a Twitter account called Artnet at Artnet. So the internet killed the yellow pages, Netflix killed Blockbuster, will NFTs kill traditional art? So this is helping us put some things into perspective from this user. So greetings, my name is Kozomo Medici. What I'm about to share with you may make you angry, you may disagree, but it's crucial you hear it. So buckle up and let's begin. So in their first thread, in the last decade, we saw a great shift in entertainment. For almost 100 years, the studios decided which actors would be lucky. So he talks about the movie industry and how things like reality TV shows have come and disenfranchised that space and allowed people to essentially put their skills out there. So through YouTube, through reality TV shows and so on, there's some famous YouTubers there out there like Mr. Beast. Yeah, he references them. This is a guy pretty much, he runs a YouTube channel where he gives out a lot of money out there, but it has allowed him to grow such a huge audience that his reach is he reaches more people or a larger audience than probably 99% of the major news outlets out there. So we have brands rushed into making deals with this new bunch of stars. So basically this whole online kind of thing, and you get brands rushing into, and basically he's talking about that whole thing. So we can go here. Then, for the first time in the Victorian era, so basically he talked about art and how these oligarchs or these kings and whatever, who's in charge determines which art is valuable or not. And so it goes on to say that for the first time in the Victorian era of the 1800s, galleries, museums, and collectors began to move markets. Fast forward to the 1900s, by the time the public, so it shows how this disenfranchisement of things like art has gone on to proliferate. And we also know with the history of art is one of the most it's one of the fields that changes and disrupts tremendously, because when you see the evolution of art, the likes of Van Gogh and the kind of art they did, there was this other artist, I can't remember, but I can try to describe the art. You can kind of see the faces, but everything is sort of convoluted in there. I'm sure you guys know who I'm talking about, but I just can't remember right now. Basically, all this art was not accepted at first, but you see the evolution. Individuals see this art, they have access to it, they love it, they give it value, and now we can see in the crypto space, people can choose, communities can build communities around niches when it comes to art, give utility to this art, and it just goes beyond holding a piece of art, but rather holding value that grows, and you can see how it grows in this sector. So 11, they talk about, sure, there's a stamp of approval when an artist is approved to a platform. So platforms like SuperRare, some of the most famous platforms on the blockchain ecosystem out there, they usually give a tick to show the validity of this artist or how proliferate they are in this space. But the point is, you can set up, you can grow your own community that can grow, you can create value and then eventually get that. You don't need to go through an intermediary. It talks about platforms like this, the Bored Ape Yacht Club. These Bored Apes, by the time they were airdropped or released or sold, they were each costing about 0.08 Ethereum, and now they're currently sitting at a floor of about 55 Ethereums a pop. So basically this tweet, not to read everything here, and also they're showing an example of an art piece here, which is X copies NFT art, right click and save as guy, sells for 1,600 Ethereum, guys. That's over $6 million. So this article is basically summarizing how the NFT sector is really disenfranchising the art sector and placing it back in the arms of everyone else. So I think we can look at one of the last things they said. The game has already changed, and whether you knew the old game or not makes no difference, because soon it may not be here anymore. Just as in the last decade, when the social media masters seized the star-making power from the studios, NFT is seizing power from the institutions. We are the market makers now. We create our own museums. We decide which art defines this generation, and we are the digital renaissance, and we are just getting started. So basically that's the premise of this tweet. I think it's pretty amazing. More emphasis on the fact that those that are ignoring things like NFTs, please pay attention. So I wanted to look at this article here, which would be the second last article I'm talking about today. Universities including Berkeley, MIT, Harvard, Oxford to form EduDAO to promote Web3 innovations financed by BitDAO Treasury. So the funds from EduDAO will be used for research, education, and entrepreneurship in Web3 technologies among the world's top universities. Those that do not know Web3 is basically having an application on your website that allows you gives you financial inclusion onto whatever exists in this globe as we're becoming more globalized. So I'll just read a little bit of this because it's a short article. On Thursday, BitDAO, one of the world's largest decentralized autonomous organizations with over 2.5 billion assets under management, and its partner Mirana Ventures announced the creation of EduDAO, EduDAO with 8 of the world's top universities, including the University of California, Berkeley, MIT, Harvard, Oxford University. EduDAO is financed by the BitDAO Treasury and will allow $11 million each year to funding projects, grants, research, and standalone products development with $33 million in initial capital. The funds will go to the academic research for the next generation blockchain and the Web3 technologies. Tomorrow's most promising products and designs are being devised at the university level right now. This partnership affiliates that growth at a scalable level by giving students and faculties access to sorely needed investment capital, said John Allen of Mirana Ventures. So Roman Ugarte and Virat Talwar, co-presidents of the Harvard Blockchain Club, said placing the power of targeting funding and information distribution in the hands of a decentralized collective of students, faculty members, and alumni is a revolutionary step forward for institutions such as Harvard. So Jocelyn Weber Phipps, Deputy Director for UC Berkeley Center for Responsible Decentralized Intelligence, RDI, added, UC Berkeley is honored to partner with Education DAO and further build on our own Berkeley RDI Center's efforts to act as a hub and platform for collaborations globally with other organizations. So guys, basically you have these major universities partnering up with and really getting into this decentralized space, because guess what? Everyone is going to be left behind. No matter how significant you think you are, you're going to be left behind. Why? Because these things that were formerly controlled by a few are going to be available to everyone, and everyone will have choices and legitimate choices. Okay, so for example, in a decentralized organization, you can have parties that have an interested stake in that organization, and anyone could become one of those parties, basically voting on policies that they think speaks to them the most, and majority wins. Of course, there's some disadvantages that can come with that, but it's democratic. All right, that's the point. Other governance policies, we can try to figure them out as this space evolves. So this last article I'm going to look at is basically for those people in the crypto space that I should have looked at this later. Actually, guys, I think I'll cover this in another video, but I'm going to look at it a little bit. So we have this. So what is the difference between the ERC20 and the BEP20 token? Guys, I see this is kind of detached from what I've been talking about. Not really, but in a way it's kind of swayed off a little bit. So I'm going to just sort of summarize. I'm not going to go through this article. Those that do not know, when there's Ethereum, one of the first blockchains to come up with smart contracts capabilities. So this is basically a way to interact with this technology without having an intermediary. So we have things like the Binance Smart Chain that came up in a very significant way by saying, oh, we're going to use this thing called an Ethereum virtual machine to sort of provide people with an interface familiar that is on par with what they know with Ethereum, but this time we're going to remove all the clutter, like we're going to increase the speed, we're going to reduce, cut out all the fees that essentially that have stopped a lot of people from participating and developing products on Ethereum network. So the Binance Smart Chain came in to do that. Now on Ethereum, there's other tokens you can mint or create through smart contracts, and these tokens are referred to as ERC20 tokens. Now things like NFTs fall into other categories, like the ER720 category and the ER1150 category. I hope I didn't get those numbers a bit wrong, but yeah, those are other categories for things like non-fungible tokens. So for these tokens that are fungible, that can be divided into multiple amounts, the ERC20 token phase that happened like in 2017, all these tokens that emerged from the Ethereum network, the Binance Smart Chain, for example, has its own version, which is the BEP20 tokens. So this is what I want to talk about today. I don't think I'm going to go in details about this. I'm going to link this particular article in the description of this video if you want to check out more about this. And if you want me to explain a little bit more about these two token standards on these different networks, please be sure to comment in the section, and I'll do a little bit more research and I explain to you what this means. Otherwise, guys, this was a short video. I hope you learned something, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.